President Trump did with the New York Times. He had ample opportunity to discuss infrastructure, health care, tax reform, and he didn't. He chose to dig into attacking Jeff Sessions. And when he discussed health care, he was absolutely wrong in discussing, well, you pay $12 a year, and then when you're 70, you should have something. That's just categorically untrue. So it's not the press corps. I would absolutely love to focus on the agenda, sir. The president isn't.
Listen, there's an unhealthy obsession with all things Russian and all things the last election by plenty of people, largely in the press corps. And you're right.
I'm going to interrupt you, sir. It is not an unhealthy obsession. Do you believe that Russia interfered in the 2016 election?
I think Russia has attempted to interfere in several elections over the last several decades in many countries.
How is that an unhealthy obsession?
It's an unhealthy obsession when 90% of a newscast is focused on that when there are plenty of other things going on.
Sir, have you ever watched what we do?
That said, we continue to do our job.
Stephanie and I concentrate on a daily basis. We talk about tax reform. We talk about health care. So you're issuing Republican talking points right now. Can we have a conversation just from a legislator to journalists right now? Can we do that?
Sure. We can. In fairness to you, I don't see a lot of TV in the afternoon. I do watch Morning Joe in the morning. However, there are a lot of good things going on, and you're right. The president's focused a lot on the other issues the other day. My advice to him would be don't call in the New York Times for interviews when you're having a theme week on American-made. That to me, that's a great theme. The week before, a couple weeks before, the energy theme was a very good theme. Good for North Dakota, good for much of America. I think there's a lot of great things to be talking about, and I wish we were spending more time talking about it. And I applaud Ali and Stephanie for doing exactly that on your show. I wish more did.
We do love covering Made in America. What is your opinion on the fact that the president, while touting Made in America Week, still doesn't make his products, nor does his daughter, in the United States? And we learned just this week they are looking to get visas for people to work in his club in Florida from outside the United States for jobs that could be filled by Americans, bartenders, waitresses, hostesses, jobs I've actually held.
Sure, as have I, by the way. And what I would say is I think that he is the perfect person to address this issue, given his breadth of experience in business and international business. His need for immigrant workers, I think, makes him the perfect person to help us wade through the aspects of legal immigration, visas, everything. In North Dakota, we need more H-2A ag visas. We need more H-1B visas for our Microsoft campus and other high-tech industries. We need somebody like Donald Trump with his breadth of experience to help us wade through that. If he's the perfect person, which is why so many people voted for him to do so, why doesn't he do it? Stephanie, I believe that he is doing it, and I think he's going to do it more when he's working with us in Congress to find that disconnect between our education system and the economy, an immigration system that is based more on lottery than it is based on the jobs that are needed in the workforce. And he can bring that perspective along with a whole bunch of other people to try and solve the issue. But you can't bring people, if there are people in the United States that, and we know there are industries that have a workforce shortage that requires bringing immigrants in. We don't have a shortage of
We don't have a shortage of bartenders, and the president has made no plans, nor has his daughter, to start manufacturing here in the United States, though he has talked about making other companies do it.
So, Stephanie, on that, with that in mind, looking at things like health care, looking at things like, nutrition assistance program that we're talking about, that debate now as we enter into a new farm bill. We have created as many incentives for people to not work and for as many incentives for companies to not hire as we have to bring them in to hire them. So I think there's a great disconnect. There's a broad range of issues to be discussed here that help us employ more Americans, create more American products. He brings a perspective. A lot of other people bring a perspective. And to his credit, he's brought lots of people of diverse beliefs into the White House to discuss this very issue.
Sir, he has brought many people there. He's brought many people there for meetings and photo opportunities. But when you mention nutrition assistance, I have to say what I think of is the fact that under Betsy DeVos, the standards have been dropped. The regulations have been dropped in terms of nutritional food being required in school cafeterias. Those standards are now lost.
But what I'm talking about is the food stamp program, for example, work requirements, whether it's for, various welfare programs such as SNAP or food stamps or even health care. for able-bodied adults who don't have dependent children. I think there's a lot of that talk that's going on that he's helping us lead, and we need to get to that stuff so that we can create opportunity for people to work in America, making a more American products. Now, I will tell you, I think this is a much steeper hill, I think, than some people might think in terms of the global economy and making sure that our consumers also enjoy low-cost products that are made in other places. But to his credit, he is helping us focus more on an made in America.
I mean,
emphasis.
Congressman, you could say to his credit, the rest of us have been studying this for 25 years. We know it's complicated. We don't actually ever come out and say it's complicated. I'm going to ask our producers, Congressman, to send you links to all of the stuff that Stephanie and I have done on health care, on infrastructure, on American-made,
on minimum wage,
on economic growth, please, so that you don't go on anybody else's TV and spout this nonsense about how the media is obsessed with Russia.
And to say to his credit,
we talk about a lot
the president's talking about it. He's talking about it. There are no action steps following it. There's an awful lot of meetings and listening sessions, but in terms of action, the action we've seen him take is firing James Comey.